Hey guys, welcome back to Tank Garage. My name is Frank and I will be the man behind the camera. Today we're hopefully going to be fixing an issue I've been having with my 2010 XC70 T6. The XC70 has been an insane warrior for the past year. If you guys remember last year, at this exact date, we took this beast from a 4,000 mile road trip, close to 5,000 actually, from Montreal, Canada, all the way to California, and we did it back and forth. So like a total of close to 15,000 kilometers or 9,000 miles of driving to bring this car to Car Week 2024. This year, unfortunately, I was not able to attend it, and we have an issue that the XC70 has started to develop where I have some really bad fuel mileage reading, and sometimes I'm having a little bit of a hesitation from the car at the higher RPMs, which could very well indicate a bad fuel pressure sensor, which is located right on top of the fuel rail on these models. Right underneath the beautiful spark welding intake right here is what we're going to change today. Sorry to interrupt the video, guys. I just released a brand new merch line. The link is going to be down in the description below. If you want to wear proudly on yourself the XC70 T6 project, no compromise, is live now on shoptangarage.com.
É muito tempo de resiliência.
So your steps are actually be kind of easier since you guys do not have take manifold in the way. It's gonna be easier for you guys than for me because the intake is actually not the way that mine is. You guys, it runs all the way to the back, but anyways, I got my breather valve here that I needed to remove, and we have access to the little sensor, which is right here. So we might need to move a little bit of things right here, or we can maybe work from underneath, but there is one bolt in like the worst possible place ever, right underneath here on that bottom right side. You guys could probably see it now. Right there is a Torx 20 or 25 depending on your vehicle. Some of them are 20s, some of them are 25s. In my case, I'm not sure yet, I haven't checked, but yeah, first step is going to be removing your engine cover, and then once you get to that part, should be pretty easy. We'll have to fit like a wrench inside of the T20 T25 and then see if it can work. I don't think I'll have enough space, but what I'll do, I think, do some mix matching with some wrenches like this, put an adapter and like turn it like that. Let's see how that goes. So here is the contraption which I have made. This is a horribly easy job, but makes it difficult because of Volvo's placement of things. It just didn't make sense to put like a little bracket so that the bolt goes here or somewhere. Anyway, so it is a T20. You do need to use one of those little T20s that you put on like a screwdriver. And then what I did is I grabbed an 8mm Allen and put a glove around the Allen and the Torx, and then ripped it off so that it's like nice and tight. So now it's like not going anywhere, so I'll actually be able to torque on it. It's not supposed to be very you know, tight in there, but like as you can see, the space is less than ideal. So this is about as much space as you guys can get to go to the bolt. So this is actually with the bolt in. We're already going out the other way, so let's try to do it. So this was the hardest bolt to get out in history. My plan didn't work, unfortunately. This little contraption right here, let me see if I can film it for you guys. This little contraption right here did not work to loosen the bolt. It worked to remove the bolt though. What I ended up using was some little vice grip. I gripped this onto the Torx bit, and then I loosened the bolt with that, and once the bolt was loose, then I was able to remove it completely with that little contraption that I did. So you're gonna need a 20mm, a acrylic glove, a 7mm wrench, and some vice grips. And now it's out. And sorry for the horrible filming, by the way. I'm filming with one hand right now, but the bolt is out right here. Now all we got to do is unplug that connector. I'm gonna put my rag underneath. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the fuel pump relay, and then once that relay is off, we're gonna start the car, let the car die by itself so it empties the fuel rail, and then once that is empty, we're gonna start the car again, let it die again if it starts. So there's not gonna be like fuel just spilling everywhere, because that is a hot area of the engine and we don't want this thing to catch on fire. I did something really freaking stupid, guys. Please don't do the same mistake as me. This could have gone horribly. So I loosened the bolt to this, right? This is the sensor that we're changing today before emptying the fuel rail. Thank God I had this rag here. There was freaking fuel everywhere, guys, everywhere. Thank God fuel evaporates quickly, and I'm not gonna be starting the XC70 for at least another hour to let the fuel evaporate, but please don't do this mistake. This was completely stupid of me. I removed the little bolt, which is right here, before relieving the pressure inside of the fuel rail. So of course, when I pulled the fuse and I started the car, this went shouting out because all of the pressure building just poured out, right? So I don't know if you guys can see, there's still a little bit reminiscent of the fuel, but there's a lot of fuel on here. So lesson learned. Lesson learned. Don't do what I just did, please. The fuse that you will need to pull, there is a fuse puller. So in the middle of everything, guys, I just rushed because the engine just stalled out, of course, because this poured out. And I think I lost my fuse puller. It's not in my pocket. It is a little plastic thing. At least you guys will know where it's at. I'll just grab one from the junkyard next time that I go. It goes right about here in this little tab right here, if you guys can see that. And yeah, on the engine fuse, yeah, rest in peace, fuse puller. I cannot find it for the life of me. If you guys can see anything, that is going to be a little bit hard to see. I'll try to put something on screen, but it is the fourth fuse on the second row to the right, or the middle fuse. So it is a yellow 10 amp fuse. Yeah, that's what you got to pull. In my case, it pulled itself. The sensor just went flying, so hopefully it didn't damage anything. This is a rookie mistake on my end, guys. Very, very rookie mistake, but you live to learn. So I'm going to try to find my fuse puller, and we'll switch this out. So unplug this little connector. This is the sensor you have to change. You put it back in, you torque that bolt back, and that's it, you're done. So this is the new sensor. Exact same thing as the old one. OEM, it is a Bosch sensor, so we are replacing it with a Bosch sensor. That is not the Bosch from Volvo, but the Bosch from Bosch, so we don't pay that Volvo tax. But like you guys can see, this is the exact same sensor, and mine looks kind of crusty, so let's see if this fixes my issue. It should, in theory. Look how crusty that thing is. So hopefully that's my issue. Little pin connector right here at the bottom. Push on it and then wiggle it out. So today was a day of lessons. Lesson number one, when you don't have the proper tool, you can make a proper tool. It ended up working. You don't have to torque these very much. You'll hear it. Once you start tightening it, it'll be tightened, and then you'll hear the little click, the creak of the bolt actually onto the plastic. That's about it. I think it's 8 foot-pounds, so it's like nothing. I actually ended up tightening it with these right here because I wasn't able to tighten it with, you know, vice grip that I had, but these needle head worked pretty well. You guys will have to do with what you have also, because I don't think a 6mm wrench exists. It probably exists, but like that's probably like a specialized tool or something. So I ended up putting the intake back on. So like you guys can see, the brand new sensor right over here is nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. This is plugged back in. The bolt is on. I'm just going to tighten my intake back on. And I did realize we might have to cut these little bad boys right here because they're doing holes in that. So yeah, these are poking out a little too much. So probably gonna have to trim like something like that off the top. So plug this back in. We're gonna put the bolt right around here, and we are going to tighten all of that up to make sure that it works well. You live to learn. This was definitely a mistake that I'll never do again, hopefully, because that was kind of stressful. The sensor, guys, it was like pop, like I heard it just popped out because all the pressure in the fuel rail, right? There was already pressure there, and I guess the pressure wasn't enough to like push the sensor completely out. And again, the fuel rail doesn't hold that much fuel. It's the fuel going to it. So when the car sits, all that fuel from the rail starts to drip back down the lines towards the tank. In my case, I got kind of lucky because the car has been sitting for like a couple of hours now. So still hot to work on, but at least there wasn't fuel like completely everywhere. There was a lot of fuel, but like I probably lost like 300, 400, 500 milliliters, which is not the end of the world. Could have caught on fire, but it didn't. So let's tighten everything back on, and then we're gonna go for a little test drive to see if my RPM issue is fixed. Hopefully it is. So we've got everything put back on, and I noticed, unfortunately, another issue that I will have to attend. This little thing here cracked, and I didn't touch it, so must have cracked in the old days. So I'm not gonna be able to, you know, re-tighten that back on. So unfortunately, it is gonna be a little bit of a hot air intake. So a little bit of air is coming in by there, but it is pre-filtered, so we're good. It's not gonna be like unfiltered air or whatever. So this is what it looks all back together with the new sensor. Torqued it properly. It doesn't leak, so that's the good part. And now we are ready for one of the yearly annual meets here in Canada called Bureaucracy. So I'm going to detail the engine bay of the XC70, just a little bit that needs to be done, you know, just to clean it all around, especially the top. The rest of the stuff seems pretty clean-ish. So All right, let's get to work. So thank you guys for watching today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed how to change a fuel pressure sensor on a T6 Volvo. So P3 generation T6. Pretty simple, except that one bolt that's like really a pain to get to. But other than that, it's pretty nice. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure to go down in the comments below, guys, and let me know if this worked for your Volvo. And I'll see you in another episode. See y'all.